Good morning. Welcome to the First Religious Society Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. I'm Jessica Brown, and I'm delighted to be your worship associate on this rainy morning. If you are visiting us here today or joining for the first time, we want to extend a special welcome to you. Those online can find the morning's order of service via a link just below the live stream window. If you'd like a large print order of service or hymnal, please ask an usher and they'll be happy to help you. I'd like to draw your attention to the many activities and events happening here at the church. They're listed in your order of service, but let me flag up a few. This Tuesday, the 5th, you can join Reverend Rebecca for the December UU discussion group, which is an opportunity to learn more about the traditions of Unitarian Universalism. The discussion, which runs from 6 to 7:30, will explore rituals and other ways to remember. And on Wednesday, December 6th, we're delighted to announce the return of Jazz Vespers. Please return us. Yay. Please join us at 8 p.m. for that gathering. This is a long-standing tradition of music, readings, and quiet meditation, and this month will feature Danny Harrington. If you haven't ordered your poinsettias yet, there's still time, but it is running out. Reserve your arrangement by tomorrow, December 4th, and the details on how to do this are in the What's Going On section of your order of service. Denise's Flower Shop across the street has provided flowers for so many FRS events over the years, including services, funerals, weddings, and this year they're ordering poinsettias just for FRS, so we want to recognize this long-standing relationship and say thank you for all the beauty that they have shared with us over the years. So please do order your poinsettias. Finally, you may notice that our young people are missing from the sanctuary this morning, but not to worry, they are downstairs with Mara for the entire service today. We gather each Sunday committed to love, peace, and justice. Our mission and our invitation today and every Sunday is to come as you are, journey together in love, act with courage, and transform our world. Thank you. It is good to be together.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you again today. This time planned. A few weeks ago it was kind of at the last minute. So it's great to be here today. And we open the service today with a poem from David White called Start Close In. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Take the first step, close in. The step you don't want to take. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Take the first step, close in. The step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way to begin the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice and wait until that voice becomes an intimate, private ear that can really listen to another. Start right now. Take a small step, a step that you can call your own, and don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused and start close in. Don't mistake the other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first step, close in, the one you don't want to take. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn. It's hymn number 1000 in the Teal hymnal that's there in your pews. Morning has come. seated. The men's group is coming forward to light our chalice candle.
We are well attended. Please join in saying our chalice lighting words as the FRS men's group light the chalice. The words can be found in your order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Each week we also light 2 candles of peace, usually representing 2 places on earth that we are lifting up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. This morning we focus on peace in a slightly different way, holding close events and people during the service and throughout the week ahead. After each candle is lit, I'll invite you to respond by saying peace in 3 languages: peace, Seale, shalom. We light our first candle this morning for the hearts of all the people everywhere, that we might recognize that peace is not the absence of conflict and challenge, but rather that peace is a presence that we can embody, a choice that we can make in the face of whatever may be happening. Peace in our world begins with peace inside ourselves. So as we light this candle, may we and all people everywhere find the courage and the strength and the fortitude to choose and stand for peace within ourselves and within the world. And to this we respond, peace, Seale, shalom. And then taking that further, we light a second candle today to lift up all the places in the world where there is conflict. The roots of big conflicts usually go incredibly deep, sometimes going back more generations than we can count, to the point where there are so many layers of interpretations, of choices and actions over time that often few people can actually name what the original reason was for the conflict. As we light this second peace candle today, may it flame into a light that can pierce the darkness that's rooted in the past, the darkness of abusive power and anger and hurt, and somehow open a door to compassion, to listening, and a willingness to be with one another, so that peace might actually have a chance. To this we respond, peace, Seale, shalom.
At this time, we will light a candle to mark the season of Advent. The following words come from Reverend Dr. Megan Visser, minister of the UU Congregation of Santa Clarita Valley. We are entering a time of year when the earth grows colder, the animals begin to hibernate, and the days become continually shorter. This morning marks the beginning of the season of Advent. In the Christian tradition, Advent is the beginning of the church year, recognizing the transforming power of God in the world and looking forward toward the birth of Jesus' spiritual light. And Christianity is not alone in celebrating light at this time of year. Hanukkah, solstice, and Kwanzaa all involve candles, fire, and lights as part of their celebrations. Each week until Christmas, we will light a new candle on the Advent wreath, a circle of evergreens, along with each of the preceding candles. And the flame of each new candle reminds us that something is happening now, but that something more is still to come. The light of Advent grows brighter and brighter, guiding us towards personal peace, shared joy, and more love. This morning, we light the first candle as a symbol of hope and expectation. May we dare to open the dark places in our lives and memories to the healing light of community. With the creative power of hope, we express our longing for peace and prepare our hearts to be transformed. Who will be lighting that candle? Yeah, you got that. That's it. Please rise in body or spirit as we join our voices in the affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. The words can be found in your order of service. We gather this hour. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Seated. The generosity of our community is an essential ministry that supports the work of the church, both in Newburyport and beyond. Each week, 50% of the Sunday offering not designated as a pledge goes to a local community partner engaged in important efforts to transform our region. The December shared collection goes to support the Community Action, Inc. energy program. Community Action, Inc. energy program provides heating assistance based on household income and size to residents of Greater Newburyport and many of our neighboring communities. Need help? You can check if you're eligible and make an appointment online. Let's keep all our neighbors warm this winter. To give online, please use the link in your order of service or below the live stream. You can also make a contribution by text, and of course, you can always mail a check to the church as well. Thank you. The offering will now be gratefully received. And let me note, there's a small change to the offertory music today. It will be an Allegretto by Mendelssohn.
Every Sunday, we lift up the joys and the sorrows of people within this beloved faith community. And Linda Harding, who is our pastoral care associate today, will light candles as I read what has been shared with me in advance of today's service. At any point that you would like to have a joy or a sorrow read in the service, you may write in the book in the back of the church. The ushers can show you where that is, or you can send an email to betweenus@frsuu.org. We light a candle of prayer and positive thought for Jim Kidd, who's in Faulkner Hospital, and Nancy is there with him. After months of tests, Jim's medical team still struggles to understand his condition. We send prayers and positive wishes for Jim's recovery and love and care to Nancy. And we wish them both peace and equanimity in the midst of big medical challenges and questions. Nancy Colby and Peter Wyatt ask that we hold their son Sean Leonard in loving thoughts and prayers. He had a stroke last week and will have surgery tomorrow at the Portsmouth Hospital. Tina Bennick writes that Greg and I share the joy that our granddaughter Chloe became a bat mitzvah on December the 2nd. We are so proud of her and the work that she did. And we light a candle of joy and celebration for Sally Higginbotham. I don't see you here with us today, Sally, but perhaps you're watching online. She will celebrate her birthday on December the 5th. And so, Sally, your presence here with us, so faithful every Sunday, whether in person or online, is deeply appreciated. And we wish you all good things for this new year ahead. And we light one more candle to represent all the unsaid joys and sorrows that, even though they're not said out loud, they're still held in our hearts with great joy and great peace and blessing. And so we come into a time to go inside, into some stillness and peace. And so I invite you to settle into your own quiet place and go inside. And feel your body in the pew. These benches are not so comfortable, but nevertheless, they've been holding people for more than 200 years. Let these benches, and maybe the cushion that's underneath you, if you're lucky, let that hold you as you settle into your own quiet space. And feel your feet on the ground. And breathe into this earth underneath us. And as you let your breath come in and go out, let it find its own natural, steady, even rhythm. Let your breath help you come home to yourself. And it's so quiet here in this space, yet there are layers of sound. Notice the close-up sounds and maybe even a faraway sound. And then notice the stories going on in your head. You don't need to give them too much attention, just notice that they're there. We all have stuff. We all have stories going on. And then step beyond those stories and breathe into the bottom of your body, deep in your belly, right where your belly meets your legs. Here, deep in your body, are those kind of primal feelings and emotions. And notice what's here for you today. Maybe there is joy and celebration. Maybe there's sorrow, or anger, or frustration, or grief. Whatever's there, it's okay. Let it be. And down underneath those kind of primal or fundamental feelings and emotions, there really are just two: love and whatever you consider to be the opposite. Some people call that fear. Just notice down underneath whatever you're feeling deep in your belly. Is that love or is it fear? It's okay either way. Just notice. And if it's love, let that love fill your whole being and wrap itself around you. And if it's fear, that's all right. Pour in love. Choose love for this moment. It's not a magic pill. It's not a quick fix. Yet it's a shift we can make. It's not about denying the fear. It's about choosing love. And notice what happens deep in your belly. You choose love for now, for this moment. And staying grounded in that love, bring your attention to your heart. And what your heart knows right now. A bigger truth. Today, as we come into this month of body, mind, spirit, be aware. What's happening deep in your belly? What's happening in your heart? We'll go further with that in a bit. Be willing to be in the whole of who you are. And so it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Justin, and the choir. I've loved that poem for such a long time, and Morton Lauridsen's music is just sublime. So you have given us a great gift today. Thank you. Our December worship theme is body, mind, spirit, the coming together of all of who we are, not just our thoughts and our actions, but stepping into the fullness of us here, the body and the spirit, not just the mind. So it's that inner place, that body, mind, spirit, that actually helps us touch the year theme of interconnectedness. So we'll be kind of touching into both of those this morning as we go forward together. And I named my talk for today, Wisdom in Our Bones, because it's all about accessing that wisdom deep in the heart of who we are that we can't find through the intellect. That wisdom that we can only touch when we're willing to go to a deeper place. And so we go to that place today, and we start with a reading from my good friend Marco Vrijhof. Marco is an executive coach and a business coach in the Netherlands, and he's a part of the global transformational presence community that's built around my work. And he posted what I'm going to read to you today on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and I thought, wow, that's just perfect for what I'm going to talk about. Now, actually, just to be fully transparent, he wrote this in Dutch on LinkedIn, but with my good friend Google Translate, we partnered together and we came up with what I'm actually going to read to you right now as his words. But Marco wrote, "In each of us there is a wisdom that is just beyond our conscious reach. It comes from a deeper layer than our conscious thinking. This wisdom is named differently in different professions, different cultures, different parts of the world, different religions, but it often comes up automatically when we are in flow. Sometimes in retrospect, we're surprised by what we've achieved, yet when we will let problems rest for a while, this wisdom is often released at the most unexpected times and places, and creativity gets sparked. But when we are under stress and so incredibly busy doing, this wisdom is not so easily accessible to us. Wisdom speaks a language that appeals to the imagination more than the logic. She often whispers, notice for Marco it's a she often whispers softer within us than the loud voice of reason. Yet she is always there as an undercurrent in our awareness. Logic often doesn't want to hear her message because it might not be without risk. Yet to not listen is to cut ourselves off from possibility. So that's where we're going today, to practice stepping beyond that reach, to go deeper inside and touch this body part, the spirit part within us, and find this alignment within us. Because when we talk about body, mind, spirit, it's about this alignment inside of us, and recognizing that spirit, that's the part that lives both inside of us and out in the greater consciousness at the same time. So we're touching into something so much bigger than us that also lives inside of us. So in the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to first take a short visit to the Netherlands, and then we're going to go to Japan, and then we're going to go to a very practical tool that perhaps can help you begin to look at what's happening in the world today and what's happening in your lives and understand it a little better for yourself, to find what is your relationship to it, what's your place with what's happening, whether that's close to home or far away. So we start with those words from David White again that were the opening reading from the service. And And so David White wrote, both at the opening in the poem and the closing, start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Take the first step close in, the step you don't want to take. What does that mean? Why don't take the second or third step? Well, the second or third step, because we are so conditioned to see the problem, to see the situation, whatever's going on, and maybe just something that we want to be different, and we analyze it quickly in our heads, and we make a plan, and we jump into action, and we miss the first part, which is maybe it has something to tell us before we jump in. Maybe there's something going on inside of me that I need to pay attention to. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Take the first step close in. The step you don't want to take. What does that mean? Well, sometimes to go inside, sometimes to pay attention to the bigger picture, it's not always convenient. Sometimes we know that once we've touched that place inside, once we have seen what's real there, then we can't ever have not seen it again. We can't ever have not touched that again. So start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Take the first step close in, the step you don't want to take. When I first started teaching in the Netherlands about 17 years ago, I noticed that when the Dutch people are meeting a big opportunity or a big challenge, when they're meeting something that is calling them forth to stand in the truth of who they are, to stand in their authentic selves, and to fully show up for what's happening, they would say very quietly, I have to stay close to myself. I have to stay close to myself. Now, the Dutch people are pretty intellectual. They're incredibly creative. They're brilliant in so many levels. And they know I need to stay close to myself. If we travel over to Japan quickly, in the Japanese culture, there's a concept called kokoro, which literally translates to mean mind, heart, spirit. So body, mind, spirit. And that term kokoro means the bringing together of mind, heart, spirit. And finding that alignment within ourselves to recognize that it lives here. To come into alignment there, and then as we come into being congruent within ourselves, then it's about stretching beyond that. It's about stretching all the way down to the core of the earth and out to the center of the universe. It's what Reverend Rebecca talked about a few weeks ago as the axis mundi. This is that connection within us, of us actually becoming a part of that larger column of energy that is all that is, or connects us to all that is. And so in the Japanese culture, with that term kokoro, they would say, well, if that's what you want to do, or if that's what you want to have, or that's what you want to accomplish, who is the person who would do that? You must be that person now. You must come into that alignment within yourself and to tap into the bigger picture of what's here. There's something that also wants to happen. We talked about that a few weeks ago when I was here in this pulpit. And so, kokoro, body, mind, spirit, axis mundi. Embodying kokoro means those things. It starts close in. And it means staying close to ourselves. And it means stretching beyond the conscious mind, the conscious thinking. And it takes us to that place of strength and harmony and wisdom that's in that quote on the cover of your worship booklet today from Ariana Huffington, that place deep inside that we know. It brings us into that axis mundi. What this is really about is meeting life from the whole of who we are. From the whole of who we are. So today we extend beyond that intellect into the body, into the spirit, and we see what's there for us if we're willing to go and to bring that into the wholeness of who we are as we meet the world. So in the last few months, I've been on my own journey of starting closer in and staying close to myself. There's a lot going on in the world. I think we all know that. We don't have to talk about all what that is. But there's a lot out there, and when I look at the people dear to me around me, there's a lot going on in their lives, and there was a lot going on in mine and inside of me. And I'm always looking in my work and in my writing for that next tool or that next approach, the next way that we can meet the world, to understand more fully what's going on, and most importantly, to understand and who are we with what's happening. What is my role with what's here, whether it's something, again, close around us or whether it's very far away in the world. So back in the summer, in my morning meditation, I was asking for something that could help me to go deeper. And what came during those meditations were what I'm now calling 7 lenses, different ways or perspectives of looking at the world, of looking at a situation, looking at what's going on, and understanding something more about it. I say lenses I think of them like as magical pairs of glasses, that you put on a pair of glasses that my mother used to talk about, looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Well, this is different kinds of glasses that we put on that bring us different perspectives, different ways, different contexts through which we might look at from the world. And these lenses come from in our body. They're a part of our intuitive intelligence. And for those of you who've studied Eastern traditions or yoga or forms of spirituality that talk about the chakra energies, there are definite correspondences between these 7 lenses we're going to talk about today and those 7 chakras. We won't talk about the chakras today. There's not enough time for that. But just know that there is that correspondence. So these 7 lenses through which we can look at the world. The first is common ground, to recognize that we're all standing on common ground. And the second is connection. The third is integrity. The fourth is relationship. And the fifth is truth. The sixth corresponds to the brow, it's vision. And the 7th lens is greater wisdom, greater good. So as we work with these today, you might want to just listen and learn something about these lenses and see how they might apply to your life. You might actually want to take another step and let this be a working session, a little bit of a chance to choose something that's going on for you, that you'd like some more insight or awareness about, something that's right in front of you. It won't let go of you. It's demanding your attention, but you don't know where to go with it. It feels like, So I'll leave you for just a moment to choose a topic you might want to work with. You won't have to talk about it. Nobody else will know what it is. So it's there for you for this next 10 minutes or so. And then we start close in. And we go to common ground. So feel your feet on the floor. And breathe into your feet. Breathe into the floor. And breathe into the ground that's underneath this building. It's common ground. It's the same ground that everyone in the world stands on right now. That every situation and everything that's happening in the world is on this common ground. And everything that has ever been or will ever be, it's happening on this common ground, if it has to do with this planet Earth. We all live in this Earth home. We all have the same cosmic address. And to be connected to this common ground, to realize that everything is on this common ground, it is to recognize that we belong. We belong to something bigger than us. So what happens when you come to your situation, when you look at it, when you experience it through this awareness, through this lens, that whatever that's going on, it's happening on the same ground you're standing on. It's all on common ground. And as we continue through these lenses, I'll say that some of them may speak to you strongly, some of them maybe not so much. And some of them might bring a message that's kind of uncomfortable. There's the the place you don't want to go. But if it's uncomfortable or if there's some resistance, it's probably something there that's important to pay attention to. Common ground, common ground. They also are not magic pills, but each one can perhaps give you some insight. We come to the second lens, which is connection. From deep, deep in the body, it's the sacral chakra. For those of you who work with the chakras, you might even put your hands here deep, deep in your belly and breathe into there. And here in this part of the body, it's where we first connect with others, realize there's something more than just me. And when we first find those bands of connection with the world around us, and it's primal here. There's nothing sophisticated about these feelings and emotions deep here in your belly. It's pretty basic. And one of the things is that when you first meet another person, there's that connection that happens that draws you in. You want to spend time with them. You want to get closer, or something that says, whoa, get me out of here. Don't want to be here right now. That's that connection lens. So come to your topic, your situation that you're working with, and notice, is it something about it that draws you closer? It's pulling you in? Or is it pushing you away? There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment about it. It's just information. And be curious. If it's pulling you in, what is it about? This situation, what is it about? This person, this relationship, what is it about it that pulls you closer? Or what is it about it that pushes you away? And then we come to the third lens, which is integrity. And it lives right here in the solar plexus. It's the solar plexus chakra, which is the place where we stand in our own power, our own strength, our truth, our sense of personal will, and how we fit in the world, how we meet the world. It's the place where we hold our values, where we know what's important to us. And when we live in integrity, it means we're living in accordance with a certain set of ethics or morals or beliefs or values or what's important to us. So when we come to your situation, your topic, what does it mean to you to meet what's happening with integrity? What does it mean to meet it in integrity? And if you take even another step, what does it mean to be in integrity with yourself in this situation, in this topic? And then we come to the fourth lens, relationship. It's in the heart. And relationship, this lens of relationship is asking us to be aware that we are in relationship with everything and every person around us all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. There is something happening there in that relationship space. And if we go back to Japan for a moment, in the Japanese culture, there's this concept called ma, which means the empty space, is the literal translation. If you look at an old Japanese painting, you know, they're very sparse and often very few brush strokes. And there are usually maybe just two objects in that painting. The ma is the space in between. What's happening in between those two objects? What's the story? What's the relationship there? If we come into life, if we go to music, it's the silence in the music. It's the space in between the notes. It's the space in between two people in a relationship. In that culture, again, in Japan, they would say, what's the ma in that family? What's the ma in that relationship, or in that team, or in that project, or in that company, or in that country? What's the ma? What's happening in the space in between? So this lens of relationship is asking us to look at what's in that space in between me and whatever my topic or situation is. What's happening in that relationship space? And what is it asking me for? In the South, they talk about being in right relationship with people, with situations. I come from the South. Well, what would it mean to you to be in right relationship with whatever your situation is? The lens of relationship, right relationship. And then we come to the fifth lens. It's connected to the throat. It's truth. The throat chakra is all about living your truth, speaking it, expressing it, the truth of who you are, your authentic being. Well, this lens of truth, that word truth, it's pretty big in our world today, in this era of fake news and this era of so many interpretations and opinions about what is truth. But this lens of truth is asking us to peel all of that away and to be able to say, what is this really about? What is the truth that's driving this situation? So, what is the truth underneath in your situation that you're working with today? You might want to lift up above it or drop down underneath it to get another perspective. What do you discover there about what's this really about? And then maybe lift up higher again or drop deeper again. Another view, another sense. What's this really about? Which then takes us into the sixth lens, which is vision. So how are you seeing what this situation is? How do you see it? How do you understand it? What is the name you're putting on it? Because how you see it, how you view it, that's then becomes the energy that you project into it. So this sixth lens is asking us to look out at the world, to look at what's happening through soft eyes. Through soft eyes. When we look at something through a hard gaze, then we're mostly just seeing the surface and we're busy analyzing it and figuring it out, and we're going to make something happen, take that next step. But as soon as we let our eyes soften and we look at it through soft eyes, we open a door to compassion. We open a door to another level of sensitivity and sensibility of the realities of the moment. With this topic or situation that you've chosen this morning, what happens when you look at it through soft eyes? Soft eyes. And then we come to the crown chakra. We come to this lens of greater wisdom. And this lens of greater wisdom kind of brings everything together, and it takes us beyond our own understanding into an even bigger picture. It helps us transcend our own wants and desires and needs and to step into something more. Greater wisdom, whatever that means to you, however you might name that, invite that in right now. Don't worry about how to do that. Trust that some part of you knows how to ask it to be right here with you. What does greater wisdom want you to know about your situation? And so, common ground, connection, integrity, relationship, truth, vision, greater wisdom. If you move in the world with awareness of these 7 lenses, you will make a difference. You cannot help but create something better. The world needs us to show up in the wholeness of who we are. It needs so much more from us than just the intellect. It needs our hearts. And it needs that part of us that is connected to that common ground and knowing how we move in the world. It needs body, mind, and spirit for us to show up fully in body, mind, and spirit. All of you. All of you. May it be so. Take a deep breath. And then stand in body or spirit and join us for the singing of our last hymn, number 1008, also in the Teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Please remain standing and join in saying our unison benediction as Jessica extinguishes the chalice. The words are found there in your order of service. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. And so, Axis Mundi, body, mind, spirit, the whole of us, stepping forward into the world with the love in your heart and the understanding that you gained from standing on common ground and that greater wisdom from above, let it all dance inside of you. Play with these lenses over these next days and see where they take you, what they bring to you. They're listed there in your order of service, so you have them. And next week, when you come back, come here as the whole of who you are, as you move through every day this week with the whole of who you are, body, mind, spirit. And so, dear ones, go out into the world in joy, and return again in love. Blessings, blessings, blessings.